going by these headlines. It certainly looks like the people took my message that they should go to the mayor and complain about our issues in the Freebeck PD. As it says right here, Mayor Rogers responsible for the Freebeck PD breakdown, and, well, we can't really go with the farmer claims government poisoned harvest, but certainly the other bits down here about the police and the government. So we'll go ahead and we'll return to the job now. And Nava has had too much to drink. I think I can't hold it off together. Can I go home? Yes, but come tomorrow. For several years, we have constantly been pestered by the LGB organisation, which is constantly whining about. Hang on, should there not be a T in that somewhere? I definitely think there should. Okay, well, let's carry on. Or is it constant whining about gay rights? Oh yeah, apparently they want to vote and, want to get married and, be like humans. And apparently they're not, according to this letter. Recently, things have been relatively quiet, but last week, 3 high school teachers were fired under laws banning the promotion of homosexuality among adolescents. These teachers spread LGB brochures among our school children, the bastards, what are the world coming to, teaching them tolerance. Oh God, all of this being nice to each other and respecting. And, treating us each other like human beings. What kind of evil bastards are these? We dismissed them fairly and according to the law, but activists are gathered outside the school rioting in protest. The children aren't there to learn about the men kissing and all the rest of their circus. I didn't know being gay involved joining the circus. Quite clearly, this is information that has been kept from me. The participants need to be taught a lesson, so they need to think twice to come out of their holes. Well, technically, I think the whole problem is that they are in holes that they weren't supposed to be. So, I don't know. The school, you can, City Hall salary. Oh, we got money. What down here? Yeah, we got this out here. The LGB Patrol, 150 gays and lesbians. Oh, we do like lesbians. Have gathered at the school demanding talk with the administration. The headmaster refused to open the dialogue and locked himself in his office. Well, I guess we can give, like a couple of these coppers down there with a paddy wagon, just, as a show of force. I have to send... No, are you sure you don't want to send any officers? No. Okay, so we have to send... We have to, we don't have a choice. Well, okay, we send it down there. But, okay, so Jack, these teachers were actually fired according to local law by Barry goes it is. However, the protesters have a right to assemble and assess themselves. No, I'm not going to fabricate evidence, Mr. Stat. We're going to let them protest, and if they want to burn down the school, we'll let them burn down the school. Because we're not bastards. Threatening phone calls. Ola Plagiat said that this is the second time a man called her on the phone and threatened her, saying he's going to feed lead to her whole family. It hurts men laughing in the background, talking about how they can't wait to finally try out their new machine guns on live targets. Quite a well-known political activist in Freebeck. Well, unfortunately, our SWAT people are busy. But you'll get Best and Birch out there, that's a smashing. Okay, well, you can get Karen as well. Now, don't whine. That's the bare minimum. And we're only sending the bare minimum because we are a bit tight on resources. Actually, we need to have a look at the detectives, what we can hire over here. See, we now have a much better, although I'm definitely hiring her instead. That's way better. So we'll crack on out here. And see, they're about to arrive out here, and they're going to ask if we're going to suppress by force, I would imagine, because they've done that with most protests and riot. No, we won't. We'll just let them do their thing. Just some gays and some lesbians. At most, they'll just, be nice to each other. Okay, and the threatening phone call is being stepped up a little bit here, so we can send on Austin and Vandal. They're quite well rated, so they should be able to handle that perfectly fine. Meanwhile, our other officers are returning back from the lesbian prostitution. Oh, yes, please. Russell Slifer is in rage at the presence of prostitutes along a road on the outskirts of the city. Apparently, there are a dozen prostitutes lined up and they're practically throwing themselves. Okay, we'll hold on with that one just until we have all the resources back from our little gay parade thing out here. So we can now send... No, child molestation. Well, we should probably get Austin Powers, Kochi, and Bailey on that one, shouldn't we? That seems like rather pertinent. And then we can assign a couple of officers out here. The paddy wagon can go to our prostitutes. We'll get David Mitchell, Hutchison, and Goodwin as well. If there are all of those... Well, let's just wrap it up completely there then. Might as well. So they've all gone out there, and hopefully they'll arrest like 5 billion prostitutes. We did get some business out here on the little drug type deal here. Do we have any available? Well, we've got Edward Sandstrom here. We can send him on it, can't we? And, yep, sort it. And then we can have a look at the frames we have in this little investigation at all. Details, and what do we have? We've got tink. I saw a little fella in a white jacket. He ordered the cherry juice, which is... Or is that a red? Well, cherries are red, aren't they? Drank at the bar and then went to the bathroom with some bearded guy. I thought they were just up for a little tickle. Now, tickle, is that in the term of going for a bit of a wee-wee? Or, a bit of, penis and bum time? I'm not sure. You see a lot of that these days. Again, both, I'm not entirely sure. I mean, men generally urinate these days. But also, we just tout the whole gay thing there, so probably something with that. But when the other folks found the bearded guy with his nose in the toilet and the other guy on the deck was up to no good, he started making trouble in the neighbourhood. We got one little fight. Okay, so they did this, and they did this, and then they did this, and then they did that, and then oh, boom, knocked it out of the park. So let's close this, and we can go out and we can make it... Well, we can't make a bus just yet, can we? Oh, we got 2 places to go. Well, that's lovely, isn't it? Well, we'll hold off here. Threatening phone calls from these officers. Offender was caught. Officers unharmed. Civilians unharmed. And we record automatic weapons. Although that's an MP5. So it's not really a machine gun. That looks like a Tech 9, and that I'm not just sure about. But we'll proceed, and we'll bring it to the station. Oh, the child molestation code has been stepped up a bit. Through the glass doors you can see a male figure trying to climb on top of a struggling woman who he's thrown onto a couch. The schoolgirl is crying loudly. So is that the schoolgirl or is that a grown woman? Okay, so knock loudly on the door and order the man to open it. Or go get the school's principal. Why not kick the fucking door down? I mean, clearly that's what you do. You've got quite a present threat right there, so you can use force to enter the room and just damage the whole fucking thing. But we'll knock on the door and we can, put him at gunpoint and, taser him in the face and all that. So all that worked. Obviously somebody was a bit injured there, and we now have officers returning home. Oh, prostitution! Offender, just one. Oh, that's disappointing. I was hoping to arrest all of the prostitutes out there, like 5,000 of them. But officers are coming back in here now, and we can go ahead then. Okay. A hysterical young person just called in shouting, "Good God, the prophecy has come to pass. Dozens of zombies are roaming the park, just like from the movies. Oh my God, Vampires 3 biggest doom, send the National Guard." Right, okay, let's hold on with that, because that's probably not going to be a proper call that we can actually investigate. But we'll send a couple of inexperienced officers out there. So select these out here. We get Gilbert and Guerin, and they can proceed. Okay, they don't want to do that on their own, so let's get Goodwin as well. And now we can try and focus out here. Bruno Salvini dedicates most of his time to his studies. Well, I would say he does a lot of time with the drug dealing business out here. And Bruno Salvini works at the Altala Funeral Home. So let's first of all go to the UF and get... we can get Hutchison. We'll get the SWAT blokes and Austin Powers, just to do the whole thing. Right, proceed. Off you go to arrest the Bard guy. The Bard guy? Yeah, we've gone posh there for a second. I promise you it won't stay for long. But they are responding out here, and they'll be arriving. Oh, mass riot report. There was a man frightened by a horror film festival. Well, fair play on that. And we went to the wrong place, so we can go ahead and deal with that in just a second. But we also have a domestic disturbance at a residential area here. Mrs. Kazmi complains that her neighbours are arguing very intensely. They're a young, hot-headed couple, and it sounds like they're about to come to blows. Well, let's get Guerin and Gilbert out there. And as soon as they have returned, which they have just about a mayor now. Oh, the mayor himself is unhappy, presumably. But we're not really on the best of terms right here. So over here we can go with Austin Powers, and we'll go with Goodwin. And we'll get the SWAT involved as well. Hopefully this is the right place to get Bruno Savini. And what about this suspicious individual? A woman says she was out for an evening jog and she noticed a black guy in a hood. That's racist. Following behind her. I was able to get away from him, but I'm afraid this bastard is still lurking in the park waiting for one of the other girls. We'll get Coachy and Bill Bailey, and they'll get down there and deal with it. And now let's see what the mayor wants to say. Jack, you swore an oath to serve the city. If you can't keep your promises, we won't keep ours. Well, you know, you haven't really stood by me at all, so I don't care about you, squeaky bum-faced man. Oh, attempt at murder now in the park. Oh, the paddy wagon's getting some mileage today. Hurry, there's some guys here who's caught a transvestite and decided they'd work him, her. I don't know, let's just leave that word out of there because that might be, you know, a bit off limits for some people. They stripped off the transvestite's tight and they're acting like they're gonna lynch the transvestite with them. They say they're gonna hang the transvestite over the bar at a playground. Oh yeah, that would make sense. I was thinking like a place you go drink. Okay, let's get David Mitchell, Austin Powers, and who else can we get? No, that's not Austin Powers. Jane Austen, that's who that is, and Birch and Khan and George Best. Off we go. Yeah, I was quite right about the suspicious individual. The man in question is a medical student who also runs at night. Very creepy indeed. People running at night. Drug sales report, did we get the bastard? Oh, we did. Yes, we were, and everyone gets a boost, and we're all happy. And now we got attempt at murder, which is more serious than they initially thought. So we'll go ahead and we'll assign all of those youngins here. They need the experience, so send them out. We'll keep just a couple of officers here available for other calls, just in case we get any. Our officers arrived out there. We didn't get any additional calls. The attempt at murder has been resolved here. And the offender was caught. Officers were unharmed and civilians were, well, you know, unharmed in this case is a relative term. But we'll go ahead and we'll end the day here and we'll see what we get on this screen. We probably need to ask a couple of people to stay in tomorrow. So Vandal and who else? Goodwin and Gilbert. Mr. Gilbert can stay in as well, and Goodwill here.
All the information about Laura, just like you asked.
Mr. Boyd, keep your voice down. Someone could be listening.
Oh, I'm sorry, Emma. It's my first time doing something like this. Here's the envelope. Everything's in there.
Fine. Mr. Boyd, please write for Mr. Fry on this envelope and drop it in the mailbox across the street.
What? I don't want this handled like it's some kind of game.
Mr. Boyd, those are the rules. Now please, lower your voice.
Fine. Okay, Emma. I'll put this envelope in the mailbox across the street, just like you said. Wonder how that damn Mr. Fry is going to get an envelope out of the mailbox.
Talking to yourself, Mr. Boyd? And we thought we'd have to catch you at the police station. But it turns out Jack Boyd has come down to meet us personally. Do you know why we're here, Mr. Boyd?
I don't even know who you are.
My name is Eugene Chaffee. I'm a businessman. Rather, a restaurateur. Although I usually tell everyone I'm a businessman. Which sounds better? Businessman or restaurateur?
Oh, I think I've heard of you. You have a restaurant and a slaughterhouse. And you serve refried veal steaks.
Well, refried veal steaks isn't my only business. But perhaps it's what I'm best known for. I thought it was time we meet Mr. Boyd, and my friend here. I believe you're already acquainted. His name is Troy Starr.
Never heard of him. So what do you want, Mr. Chaffee? Looking for a spokesman for your beef products? I recently changed my image and my hair.
Eugene and I really want to help you, Mr. Boyd. Although after our phone call, I've had my doubts. I was making love to my wife, and you called me and told me to fuck myself. That kind of behavior is rude and inappropriate, Mr. Boyd.
I didn't mean to offend you, Mr. Starr. Just thumbing my nose at that prick mayor of ours. You keep making love to your wife, or did I ruin the mood?
There's a nice cafe around the corner. Spare us a couple of minutes of your time, Mr. Boyd. Lately, I've been so busy that I rarely get to sit and relax in such a nice place, and with such interesting company.
Get to the point, Mr. Chaffee. I'm busy too. In fact, I think I hear some teenagers next door robbing and raping an old woman. Maybe she's your aunt.
You see, Mr. Boyd.
Good morning. What do you want?
A big mug of beer.
We don't serve big mugs of beer.
Then a small mug of beer.
We don't have beer in any size glasses. This is a family restaurant. Moms and dads come with small children. I can bring you a lollipop to suck on.
Monica, where's your famous charm? Bring the gentleman a beer. I'm sure you've got a bottle under the counter. Check between the dead cats and the dried heads of your ex-boyfriends. This man, by the way, is your police chief.
Don't be silly. The police chief has a bald spot the size of a toilet seat.
So, as I were...
Oh, I'm sorry, Eugene. It's Rogers. Probably forgot how to wipe his ass.
When you're 82, Troy, you'll probably forget you need to wipe your ass at all. But very well, run along. We can continue without you. So, Mr. Boyd, as you may already know, the official job of my old friend Mr. Starr is to cause trouble for you. But believe me, it's not out of malice. It's to maintain his cover at City Hall. But to somewhat balance out this trouble, I've decided to help you out. Every day, pay close attention to your morning newspaper, Mr. Boyd. You'll find messages hidden among the pages. Simple notes, but make no mistake, the information you'll find there is extremely useful. You see, Troy Starr isn't my only spy. That's it, Mr. Boyd. I told you it would only take a couple of minutes. I wouldn't want to disturb you while you're enjoying your drink. Keep in touch, my dear little cupcake. Oh yes, I'm quite good at puns.
Never imagined what meeting Robespierre would be like, but I certainly didn't figure the first thing he'd do was buy me a drink. Getting them to serve a beer at a family cafe? And this Robespierre has some strange superpowers. Strange, but not entirely useless.
So, my cat ate some cream past its sell-by date and they had diarrhea all night. But no, it's a cat. Sorry, I like cats, but that's just not on, mate. So, Bruno Savini turned out to be a member of a gang known as the Atala Funeral Home. That was a bit weird. Could we help you take down the gang if you make him an informant? Yeah, we can do that. We can definitely do that, although that's a terrible name for a gang. So, Chief, the suspect is denying everything. If you want to get this guy's boss, we'll have to loosen his tongue. This isn't my first rodeo. Okay, proceed. We're just getting that here. So that is Frederica La Terza, and she's probably a Mexicana. So we can interrogate here Bruno Savini. We want to get the details. We'll prepare a profile on the suspect. The information we have gathered will help you identify his weak points and use them during the interrogation. When asking questions, be careful. If you screw up too many times, the suspect will likely refuse to cooperate and will either have to give up or resort to extreme measurements. So Bruno Savini is a male, aged 18, suffers from phonophobia. Is that a phobia of phones? Once hospitalised for electrical burns, and since then he avoids electricity. Efforts by psychologists to help him deal with his childhood traumas have been proven unsuccessful. Additional info: as a child, Bruno Savini was a competitive swimmer and placed in dozens of competitions. He gave up the sport after an unpleasant experience. After he finished swimming lessons one evening, some girls locked him inside his locker and left him alone there all night. Since then, he has repeatedly appealed to psychologists to help him with his fear of dark and closed spaces. He was also regularly exposed to violence at home. After the death of his parents in an automobile accident, Bruno Savini dedicated himself to his studies and graduated high school with honours. He received a scholarship to a prestigious college where he was counted as one of the best students. He also took several side jobs, and while in school, on one of these jobs at the Altala Funeral Home, he met Dante Gambino. They have since grown close. Mr. Gambino has assisted Savini in the past, bailing him out when Savini got into minor jams. He's even listed as Savini's emergency contact. Right, so Bruno Savini, I always wanted, right, how do you do something special to take care of it? Who do you work for? And who do you deliver trucks for? Who do you work for? Let's start up with that. I'm my own boss, pig. You're wrong on that. So we already know you're in with Dante Gambino. He worked for you, or is it the other way around? How about simplifying your life and get out a bit? Your mother ain't happy about... No, I've got to find the right accent for these stuff, so we may have to work through these just a couple of times and just find the right one. She just called in the police station in tears. Listen, you're young... No, that doesn't work either. Listen, you're young and clever. Help us and we'll help you. We'll put in a good work for you. Might even get to go to college after all. Let's try and play nice at a college. You arsehole don't know anything about me. Right, okay, so already know we're in Ben Gambino. Yeah, does he... Yeah, no, really don't doubt you there, mate. So you are lying. Dante Gambino adopted you after the death of your parents. He's your new daddy. No, you're lying. Dante Gambino has repeatedly bailed you out of here. You'd be a fool to deny. We record everything. You are lying. There's a lot of lying going on here. The envelope contains photos from a surveillance camera showing you buying the drug from Dante Gambino. You're lying. I can't prove it, but I can smell a lie from a mile away. Now, that's just basically showing that you're bluffing. Right, so we'll go in with the... bail you out of the station. Okay, fine. I'll tell you what you want. Right, you got to fucking open up for me, right? I'll lock you into this dark, small room. So we'll go in here, and now we have another chap over here that we need to start to investigate. That's Dante Gambino. Oh, he's a bit old, isn't he? I thought he was a bit younger. Oh, shit, we have no decent investigators on duty, do we? Oh, shit. Okay, well, we need to shove this around, because this is quite clearly big. A funeral. Oh, yes, Sue Barker died. Yes. So our little rat there died. We have theft at a construction site. A elderly security guard, Robert Childress, saw 6 people break through the hole in the fence in the construction yard, climb onto the site and start filling up a cart with bricks. At first, the guard was only worried about the stolen building materials, but when the thieves started climbing into the more dangerous construction areas, he began to fear their lives. These idiots are going to get themselves killed. You've got to hurry. Well, let's assign just a couple of coppers. 2 should be fine, shouldn't it? Oh, come on. Stop being pussies. Let's get George Best on it as well, then. Off you go, and we'll immediately begin here with our investigations and see what we can shuffle around. But I want her here, detectives, and see here. Oh, well, she's lead. So let's go ahead then and close down this investigation. Archive it. We can always reopen it. And I'll assign her to our drug possession here because she's quite good. I'll get Siegler and Navarra as well. Fuck it, let's also get Bowling involved. And we will start the investigation. Proceed, they'll crack on with it. And now we have a robbery in the ghetto. A young man who has just been robbed called in to report. He came through the gate with a knife and demanded my wallet. I tried to run, but he caught me and pushed me to the ground. In addition to the wallet, he took my watch, shoes, and even my belt. My mother gave that to me. Well, that's a bit of a bitch, isn't it? So let's get Asano, Vandal, Hugh Grant, and Tony Robb. No, okay, so let's just get those 2 then. That's fine. So we can probably just send 2 to most minor calls, and then just 3 officers to any sort of half-decent call. And now we have a theft construction site. One of the suspects was running around and almost fell down an elevator shaft. He's standing right next to the edge and there's terror in his eyes. Push the suspect into the elevator shaft. Okay, let's just take a moment to take a deep breath here. And let's not stay back. Easy, kid. It's a long way down here. Just, intimidate him and... Oh, bastard arse McGee. Okay, well, they got away. Tough. Yeah, it happens sometimes, Oh, drug possession. Eleanor Compton went to wash her hands before eating but wandered into the cafe's kitchen by mistake. I looked around and saw several bags of white powder. I know cocaine from a mile away. Well, let's get Anthony Robbins and Sanu. Off you go. You can deal with that perfectly fine. You're good and qualified and all that. Oh no, we've got dead bodies. Hey, Mr. Boyd, you don't know me, and I suppose that's just as well. As for what you do, you probably don't approve. Now, as for what I do, you probably wouldn't approve. So I won't trouble you with any unnecessary details and get straight to the point. For one, a very specific, let's call it an operation, I need 3 deputies, officers, 1 female and 2 male, race and age do not matter. I'll return a couple of days to collect the bodies. We wouldn't want them to start decomposing. What's the deal with that? Drug possession investigation has started, so we'll leave them be. Robbery report came in, offender was caught, and officers unharmed. So let's now try and pair up our inexperienced officers with experienced officers. That seems like a good way of dealing with it. Yeah, so she saw ordinary salt and mistook. Why would it keep that in transparent bags? I've never seen salt sold in transparent bags. It's always in a box or in a container or something else. Anyway, that's not for me to argue. We now had an animal assault. Is that an assault on an animal? A man just called in. His voice was high-pitched and he sounded hysterical. Hello, police. Some kind of beast broke into my apartment. It's running all over everywhere. God, one bite from this thing and I'm dead. Hurry. That's what I imagine what he sounds like. And I'm sorry to your dog who I just woke up. We'll send Cecil alongside Gilbert. And we have a double homicide at the Everyday Mall. Wonderful. An unidentified man who was unable to pay the checkout reacted by killing the cashier, and then the security guard and fled the scene. Right, we have to do some buffling about. Are these working? Detectives? Yes, they are. The hit and run, we do have some decent intel going on that one, don't we? Yeah, we do. Alright, well, we'll just have to deal with these two youngins down here. They'll do fine. Williams and Haar. Yeah, you can go ahead and you can deal with it. That's fine. We only really need 2 people on. I got a couple more working the other investigation over there, but we may have to change that at one point. The animal assault was cleared. Here, a larger wasp got into the man's house. Or maybe he's allergic to wasps. Oh, we have another rape. Cynthia Jason filed a complaint against a workman at her building. It appears he's been very vulgar and follows her around. I've never seen such a horrible jerk punish him. That's not a rape. Like, that's not a rape even slightly. Well, we'll get David Mitchell and Gertwin here on it, and they can go down and tell her to fuck off and not call police for something bullshit like that. Really? That's all we can do? Okay, so we have a double homicide starting off here. We'll get back to that later on. Mafia from Chris G. Sand. Jock, you got into our business when you opened an investigation regarding a double homicide. It would be better for both of us if the whole thing was settled by... Yeah, okay. Yeah, but we kind of don't really... Yeah, I don't know. Ooh, what do we have? Drug manufacturing. According to an anonymous source, a house registered to Ernest Franklin is being used to produce and store large quantities of drugs. Mr. Franklin has a record a mile long, including illegal weapons and drugs charges. The last time we had him in here, he just opened fire and some teenagers were coming onto his yacht to retrieve a baseball. But for some reason, we can't call SWAT to his house. Well, we'll just get quite a few officers actually for now, just because they're quite terrible. So get them out of there. And we can, over here, we have Robert Delvin County Houses. I need 4 police today. It's a very important day for my daughter. She's getting married and I want everything to be perfect. I'm a very powerful businessman. We're talking the kind of successes you can't get without making enemies. So no surprises today. I could do with some help out here. Well, sure, fine. We need the money. What about the rape? Maintenance worker was Billy Sue. His behaviour is Cynthia Jackson. Jackson? Was that not Jason? Okay. Had only whistled as a girl bought pie. Yeah, again, she's a bitch. I mean, don't call a rape in because somebody whistled at you. That's wrong. I mean, it's wrong to whistle as well if you don't have any, rapport with a person. But still, calling in a rape is a bit much. Now we have disorderly conduct. A woman called in speaking in an awestruck praise. I hear all the trumpeting angels. Oh, Lord comes. Behold his glory. The television was red. Okay, well, we have 3 coppers available. I don't know why we send all of these people down there, but certainly off you go. Off you go. Deal with, the Lord Jesus coming to save us all. So the drug manufacturing corp, but oh shit, we don't have anyone fucking available, do we? Well, listen, you can probably handle this all by yourself, and that was probably why we had that call out, just to fuck us over. So drug manufacturing, offender was caught, officers unharmed, civilians unharmed, and some ficus. What's ficus? What's that? That's just a plant. That's like a little tree. You bring it to the station. Why can we sell a tree? Why would anyone buy a tree? So we got no report in that here. We started off serious, but then the pretty girls all wanted to be photographed with us. We ended up eating cake with the newlyweds. It was a great day, and look at them, they're all well healed up, so there is a good reason to do those things. So, and we got money as well, thank you. We got the dollar, and we don't have anyone available to deal with the robbery at Mrs. Sofa Furniture Store, although we have quite a few coming back now. Well, now they came back out here, so we can assign Hugh Grant, DeGaulle, Vandal, and Samadhi, and they'll go out there and they'll save her It's getting pretty late, so I don't have to worry about that. It wasn't a trumpeting angels appearing out of nowhere, it was a music school student in the next apartment rehearsing on the tuba. Well, we all know that tubas sound like angels, so I get why they were confused. Oh, and we have another public indecency. The cop bands says they detained a weak guy who took off his clothes and started molesting girls on the dance floor. That's not public indecency, that's sexual assault, mate. Right, well, we can only assign one officer. Let's get Asano. Yeah, you can go down there. You just get this molester bloke. Okay, you can deal with it. Fine. No worries. Oh, look at all of these reports coming in. No new frames found from Debrito. Drug possession, we got 3 new frames here. We probably need a few more. Double homicide, we got 3 new frames. So we'll shut this down. Hopefully now we can actually go after... Oh, robbery! A man and a woman are struggling to carry a luxurious couch through the broken window and into their van. Help them load it up. No. Sit on the sofa. No. Drop the furniture right there and put your hands behind your head. Probably the right way of dealing with it, don't you think? Asano caught our public indecency molester bloke down there and she was not hurt. So all is well and we can go ahead and we can end our shift here.